In the last session, we have discussed about text or string functions. Now we are discussing about date functions, how it is going to be work. We will see. Then we'll go with the aggregate functions. See how it is going to be work. First, current date, which is going to be written the date from the real method. See, so databases use Raju DB. Current date. So what is the current date? We'll be having in the format of YYYY hyphen hyphen DD. That is the format it is going to be retrieve the data. This is a format which will be retrieved for us. Select current date from dual innocence. It is going to be give the current date and current date. That is in the format of YYYY DD format. It is going to be display the data. So this is a way how it is going to be get the data to us. Next method we have CB time zone or current timestamp. Select current timestamp from here. Along with the date, it is going to give the current date. Along with the date, it is going to be time out. 7 hours HH colon colon DD. HH colon colon DD. That is the format it is going to be display the data. If I am executing this, the time is going to be changed. See, now it is 7 hours, 5 minutes, 31 seconds. If I am executing one more time, so within some fraction of seconds only I have given the time variation. Because of that only, here we got 31 seconds and here we got 37 seconds. If I am executing now, I have given much variation in terms of seconds only. Because of that, we got 51. If I am executing this one more time, so 58. So by this time, minute also has been changed. We'll check now. 7 hours, 6 minutes. 7 hours, 6 minutes. It is going to be displayed. So at the current date and time, we are using current underscore timestamp. To get the only date, current date, we are going to be use current underscore date. It is going to be give the current date. See, current underscore timestamp from dual innocence. It is going to be get this particular current date and as well as time. We know that date format is YY hyphen hyphen DD. And along with that, we are getting the time in the format of HH colon colon DD. Okay, fine. Now we will be having the another method. See, this date, system date. Now, as per this, it is going to be give the system date and as well as current date. Both are same. Yeah, this date is going to be worked in the Oracle database. It will not work in the MySQL database. This date is going to be worked in the Oracle database. It is not going to be worked in the MySQL database. Remember that. Two changes will be there in between the databases, Oracle, MySQL, and SQL server, whatever may be the database. One difference majorly where we'll be getting is in data types. In Oracle, we are going to be use the varchar2 database. var_char2 data type. Whereas we are not going to be use the var_char2 in MySQL and SQL server. We'll be using only var_char in MySQL. We'll be using var_char in MySQL. And even SQL server also we have var_char. Along with that, many data types we have in SQL server. Okay. So like that, there are some differences. There are some differences. So in that, one difference will be getting in data types, and the other difference will be getting in executing the methods of that particular database. Methods of that particular database. Right. See, next method we have, we'll check local timestamp. Local timestamp. Local timestamp also it is going to be clearly that date and as well as time. Clearly it is going to be given as date and time. Clearly it is going to give date and time. Date and time. That is local timestamp. Next we'll be having last day of the current date. Last day of the current date. Last underscore day. Current date from 31/12/2023 is the last day of the particular date. Is the last date of the particular date. See, current date is used for getting the today's date, and in that date, what is the last day of the month? What is the last day of the month? It is going to be given 31/12/2023. See, if I'm giving last day, last day of, last day of date, if I'm giving as 2023 11, and the day is 5 if I've given, day is 5 if I've given, from the table 12, see, this is a November 5th I have given the date. November 5th I have given the date. Last day of the particular date, what we got here, 2023 11/30. That is the last working day of November month. That is the last working day of November month. That is the last working day of the, I mean, not last working day, last day of the month. Last day of the month. Either we can pass the current date to get the current date, or this one, this string, we can able to pass here. We can able to pass here. That is date in the form of a string we have to pass. That is in single quotations we need to pass. Right. Now we are going to be see add months. For the current date, we are going to be add months. Current date plus 5. Current date plus 5 from here. Add month function does not exist in the database. use this is the database I'll be using. Show tables. What are the tables we have? So this is a system database. This is a system database we have. So in the system database, if we want to see the tables, these are all the list of tables we are having. These are the list of tables we are having. So now here, select sysdate from dual built-in. Also, it is not getting. Select it. Now, if we are checking add months, current date, comma 5. Even in this database also, it is not existing. So, add month will not work in MySQL database. It is going to be work in SQL database and as well as SQL server database as well. Sorry, Oracle database and as well as SQL server database. It is going to be work. How many months we want to add? That many months we can able to add here. See, along with that, we have some more methods in Oracle and as well as SQL server related to date and time. To find the difference between two dates, to find the get the uh, date of the day after adding so and so many number of months. This kind of methods we have in the SQL server and Oracle as well. So in MySQL, as we are using these databases, sorry, these methods is good enough for us as a Java developers. Okay, it's good enough for Java developers. Raju DB. Now again, we are entering into our database. Raju. Show tables is a data we are going to get. Is the employee table data we have. Next we'll see. Next we will see. Next we will see aggregate functions. Aggregate functions. What are the aggregate functions we have that we will discuss? What are the aggregate functions we have that we will discuss? Aggregate functions or multiple row functions or group functions, which is used to get used to apply the functions on more than one row, and it is going to be generate a single value as output. It is going to be generate a single value as output, which is going to be take more than one value, that is more than one input, and it is going to be produce a single value as output. And it is going to be produce a single value as output. See, here at a time, we are going to be produce one value as input. More than one row of value as input, and it is going to be generates the single value as output. Single value as output. So that's what we are going to be discussed here. That's what we are going to be discussed here. Sum function, AVG function, min function, max function, count function. These are all the 5 aggregate functions we have, and all these aggregate functions will not consider the null values. All these aggregate functions will not consider the null values. So it is going to be skip the null values. Some function which is used for adding all the values. Some function which is used for adding all the values. Average function which is used for finding the average value of the given column. Average value of the given column. Find the average value of the given column. Min function which is used to return the smallest value in the column. Smallest value in the column. Get it? We are using this min function. Max function which is used to get the highest value in the column. Highest value in the max function, which is used to get the highest value in the column. Count, in a sense, it is going to be return the row count of the column. It is going to return the row count of the column. Count of star if I am giving. Count of star if I am giving. Total column count it is going to be take. Total column count it is going to be take. Sorry, total table count it is going to be take. Count of a specific column if I'm giving, in that particular column how many rows we have, that is going to be displayed for us. Count of star, in a sense, which is going to be give the total number of rows available in a particular table. Sorry. P count of column, which is the total number of rows in that particular column. Count of star, in a sense, total number of rows we have in that particular table. What is the difference between those two is, here total one table if we are considering, then how it is we work. When we are taking one table completely, in one column, we may have null values in some particular rows, but in other column, in that particular rows, we'll be having values. Then it is going to be considered that particular other column values. If the total row of a table is null, then only it is going to be shows the difference. Otherwise, it is going to be give the same. Total rows we have in a table, it is going to be displayed. Count of star, in a sense, that is count of column name, in a sense, in the specific column, how many rows of data we have. If any null values are there, that count will not be considered. That count will not be considered. That we are going to discuss practically. I'll show you clearly. Practically, I'll show you that concept very clearly. So these are the aggregate functions. Remember one important thing: aggregate functions or multiple row functions is not going to be considered. Null values. It means it is going to be skipped null values. It is going to be skipped null values. It is going to skip null values. Right? See, we will see all these concepts practically. Select sum of total salary if we want to get. Total salary if we want to get. What is the procedure? Total salary if you want to get. Sum of salary from table called as employee. 2,88,000. 2,88,000. 2,88,000. If I want to get the minimum salary, what is the minimum salary? We'll be getting as 35,000. Select min of salary from employee. 35,000. Minimum salary is 35,000. Minimum salary is 35,000. That is smallest value in that particular column. Smallest value in that particular column. As it is not going to be considered the null values. As it is not going to consider the null values. As it is not going to be considered the null value. Select max of salary from employee. Max of salary from employee. Select max of salary from employee. In essence, highest value in that it is going to be displayed for us. Highest value it is going to be displayed for us. Highest value. Select average salary. Here also it is not going to be considered. It is not going to be considered null values. Average salary from employee. This is the average salary. This is the average. This is the average salary. Now select count of star from employee will be getting as 8. Select count of location column. If you observe in the table, we have one null value in the location. We have one null value. We have one null value. So that null value, how it is going to be kept. So we'll be getting the total count of that location column is 7 only. Total count of location is 7 only. Even if you see count of salary column of a table employee, we are going to be get as 7 only. If I am selecting, see, we have here null value. Total how many values we have here? 7 rows. And here we have one null value. So total rows is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for e name, if I am checking, for e name, if I am checking count of e name from employee, we will be getting 8. We don't have any null value in the e name column. We don't have any null value in the e name column. See, select count of star from employee. Select count of star from employee. Total count we got here is 8. Total count is 8. Select count of star from employee. It is going to be get this. See, here, when we are taking count of star, in this particular column, we have null value here. We have value here in this particular column. So if you take this particular row completely, only in this particular case, we have null values. In the other columns, we have data over there. In the other columns, we have data over there. So because of that only, it is going to be take the other column count over there. Even here also there is same thing. But when we are taking specifically count of that particular column, we are getting the count differently. If we have more number of null values, it is going to be skip that. How many rows we have at rows values only, it is going to be displayed for us. At rows only, it is going to be displayed for us. Right? So these are different functions and different aggregate functions we have. So in the next session, we will discuss the group by and having class. So then we'll go with the joins concept.